Hello and welcome to the next video in my top prospect series where we cover junglers. Obviously not as many on the board here. That is due in part to just this meta, the Maokai Sejuani Elise meta, very heavy ganking. Stats wise, there aren't many outliers, if you will. And outliers that are under 22 years old that I still consider prospects that have development or still and there are people over 22 that could get opportunities as well. But these players I identify as the ones that I think are, players that I would be identifying as, hey, if I'm in the West, these are players I would want. Or even in the East, if you're in the LPL or LCK. As far as LCK is concerned, Lucid for D+, 18 years old, and Forest, 20 years old, that plays for T1. Challenger, both of those players are very good. Lucid, in my opinion, the best player on this board, if not second best. 4.4 KDA, that's very good. I said it yesterday, though. When you have a player with a high KDA, you have to take into account other things as to why that KDA might be what it is. If you have low damage output, if you have low KP, you're just farming, getting your 5.7 CS per minute, but you are not involved making things happen. 68 4 KP for both him and Forest, so you do have to keep in mind both of these players are as effective overall in the grand scheme of things, roughly 2 out of every 3 kills for their team. CS is pretty close, but Forest half of the KDA. Now we look at the DPM as to why maybe the KDA is what it is. Forest, 411 DPM compared to 256 by Lucid, so more effective when it came to damage. 4% higher damage share, slightly higher gold share. Gold share is pretty much the same because of the farm. As far as CS, diff at 15 minutes, both players are ahead. Lucid is ahead roughly 200 gold, which isn't a lot. 6 CS, 270 XP. Forest, on the other hand, 320 gold, 9 CS, 375 XP. Lucid, 6 solo kills in 38 games, played 8 champions. Forest, 5 solo kills in 40 games, played 11 champions. So, both those players looking really good. Neither one have an opportunity on their starting roster with Canyon and Owner. That is evident as clear as day. So, if I am a team anywhere else, I'm looking at how much are these buyouts and can something be done. D Plus has a good player from last year in Charvel, and I talked about it in the D Plus preview video before the split started. Charvel plays for their academy team and looks very good as well, so D Plus may be able to allow Lucid to go. In EU, there are 3 players that I think look pretty good and stick out. Douglas may be the most interesting player on the board, though. I think he's 17 years old, Polish jungler, plays for Vitality B, so he might be in contract prison, but Bo is there. Selfmade still under contract. Maybe there's a chance somebody could eke out Douglas out of there. Ekis, 21 years old, plays for Game Ward. And then Rabble, 21 years old, plays for Fnatic. I identified Rabble along with Oscarinin before the split started as 2 players that deserve an opportunity. Oscarinin gets his. Rabble, I think, also deserved it. Douglas, 4.1 KDA. Ekis, 4.3. Rabble, 3. All these players, 5.8 CS per minute or higher. Douglas, 6.1. That's the highest on the board. He is a carry-oriented jungler. These KPs are outstanding. 4 out of every 5 kills Douglas and Ekis are involved in. So these teams are not fighting all that much outside of being together, in my opinion. So how does this make sense? Let me just rephrase that. When you have a KP this high, either you are extremely active, you are Malrang active. But when your CS is 6, it tells me, okay, you're farming a lot and you're involved a lot. And to this degree, your team must be fighting with you there. So you're talking about 5v5s. You're talking about fights at objectives. You're not talking about skirmishes and ganks as much. Now, I don't watch these players play. I'm supposed to say that at the start of every video. These stats are from the 8th of March. I'm supposed to say that at the start of this video, and I didn't. But I don't edit my content, and I'm not going to cut things out or rephrase it. So, 80% high. It's very good. The CS is very good. Damage-wise, Rabble leads the way on this board with 460 damage per minute. Actually, it's second. 460 damage per minute, which is over 100 more than Ekis and roughly 100 more than Douglas, which is significant over, what? A 30-minute game, that's 3,000 damage. Damage share is all pretty close, though, in the end. 17.5, 17.3, 16. Gold share between 20 and 18.5. Now, at 15 minutes, Douglas on average is up 675 gold, so a component. 9 CS, 580 XP compared to his competition. He is gapping the opponent at 15 minutes. He is clearly ahead. Ekis, 425, 7, 325. Rabble, mixed bag, down 100 gold, pretty much tied. Up 8 CS and 175 XP. Douglas has 2 solo kills in 15 games. He's played 10 champions, so a wide champion pool for a 17-year-old who's putting up numbers like this. Like, that kid needs to be on everybody's radar as somebody to sign, to give an opportunity to. Like, that's somebody, like, when I see a 17, when I see, like, a player that young doing this well, I say to myself, this is the type of situation where you say, let's go find a older player to substitute, to have be a sub along with Douglas on your roster, and you can have them both kind of work with each other. The older player may just not really want it. You pay the older player to do it, and I think you bring him along and actually get him to a high level of play. Like these numbers are outstanding. Ekis, no solo kills, 6 champions, 15 games. Rabble, 8 champions, 17 games, 5 solo kills. So Rabble and Douglas, 2 players that really stick out to me. Ekis probably, because he's not LEC affiliated, probably doesn't come at as high of a price. LPL, China's players, obviously in the LDL, we don't get as many stats, so some of them aren't here, but Tianjin for IG is only 18 years old, and these numbers are very good. 4.6 KDA. Phi for Rare Atom, also looking good at 20 years old with a 3 KDA, 5.9 CS per minute. Mori for OMG, the backup to Aki. I think Mori, honestly, should be putting pressure on Aki right now. And if I really don't think Aki should have the job, like, going into summer based on how he's playing. All 5.8 or higher. Mori 5.8 KDA and an 81 KP. So he is involved. It's not like he's avoiding fights. You know, it's not like he's not involved when the time comes, and he is not dying. He's finding time to farm. As where the other 2 players, Phi and Tianjin, not as involved, but high CS is still to offset that. Phi and Mori, 450 and 500 DPM respectively, which are both high numbers. A lot more than Tianjin, who has 300. Gold shares are all very close. 6 champions in 18 games for Tianjin, Phi 9 and 13, and Mori 10 and 17. So, as far as the junglers are concerned, I think all 3 of those players should be putting pressure on the starter. I don't think Gideon is very good. I don't think Lean's played outstanding, and I don't think Aki's played outstanding. Junjia is the only minor region player I have on here. I did have Grell written down, but I think he turns 22 in like a month, so I said screw it. Plus, Grell has left Latin America and went back to Brazil, even though he's Latin American, which is fine, import or whatever, but he, I think he's went back and forth a couple times throughout his young career already, but Junjia, who played for EDG last year, is on PSG now, came in mid-split and has done a fantastic job. PSG looks like the PSG of old. 20 years old, 6 KDA, 5.8 CS per minute, 65.7 KP. You'd like him to be a little more involved. Less than 2 out of every 3 kills, but is farming. 385 damage per minute, 16.3 damage share, 18.3 gold share. Pretty standard stuff. On average, gapping his opponent, 500 gold, 13 CS, 800 XP. So he is ahead by a good margin. 3 solo kills in 9 games played, 4 champions thus far. There were rumors that a LEC team wanted Junjia services. Maybe even TSM did as well from the LCS. I'm not surprised. I think Junjia looked good in his opportunities last year with EDG. Frankly, I thought he was the reason EDG even got to a place in the playoffs where they could succeed after JJ was so inconsistent throughout summer. So for him to get this opportunity, I think is very good for him. Hopefully it's not on loan and it's actually because he He's got a full-blown contract. But I think all these junglers on the board probably Ekka's probably the last one on the board because he's already 21 years old, but he has good numbers. I don't think there's any reason that a bottom half LEC team couldn't, require his services. But all these junglers I think are very good, and they should be given a long look at the end of spring here, going into summer as possible buyout targets, possible players to keep your eyes on. I know the list is only half as long as the top lane. Top lane was 18 players or something. Maybe it ended up being 16 or 17, but these players are good. What else is there to say? So, thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, like it, subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube member, and thank you for watching.